Hey there, folks. Foggy here. Welcome to day 230 of my year of solo board gaming, considered by many to be ill-advised and stupid, and I'm not even sure if it's sustainable at this point, but we are playing Micro Dungeon. This is yet another print and play. I got this one off of PNP Arcade. I don't believe this... I think this was free. I vaguely remember... I know I paid for two of them. Vault was one of them, and was definitely worth it. I don't remember what I paid for this one, but I don't think I actually paid anything for it. Basically it's a dungeon crawler. It's meant to be a small tiny dungeon. You've got small tiny monsters and small tiny treasures, and these are going to be really difficult to actually to use because these pieces are so small that it's difficult to really get any sort of grip on them. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But we have ourselves a player. We have Kenbo Ze. And this is the easiest of the four players to play. They've got a bonus when fighting these green things, which apparently are orcs. The monsters are mummies, skeletons, goblins, and orcs, I believe. So the way that the game is going to play is that we are a hero here. We get to move a certain number of spaces. We get to move 4 spaces, I think, per turn. However, our turn comes to an end if we hit any of a certain number of spaces. So, for example, in this first one, I'm going to move 1, and there's a little treasure icon here. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just simply going to draw a treasure. I'm going to draw a kind of... I'm going to cut the deck here. And just pull a card. Except I think I pulled 2 cards. So there we go. Magic Wand. Alright, so the Magic Wand allows you to re-roll. And we're going to use these little cubes. I got these from Solar Storm. I've got that sitting over on the side here. But essentially, this is a multi-use item. You can use this 3 times to re-roll your dice in combat. So that'll be something that I have available to myself to use. Now, you get 3 turns before advancing the Dungeon Master up any. So my second turn will be to go to a waypoint. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get some idea of what's going on. When you get to these little red triangles, that's when you draw a map card. There's an exit card that you're trying to meet, to reach, except you have to get through the dungeon boss to do it. And that is in the last 5 cards of the deck. So this first one's going to go here. And this will have a treasure on it, so we'll go ahead and do a treasure. But you also notice that it's got a lot of nasties around it. So we might do a tactical retreat here. So for each one of these, I'm going to draw a monster card. Starting with the one on the top, I drew a mummy, which is the weakest of the monsters. And then another mummy. Let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Ogre. Sorry, orc, not ogre. And then another mummy. So the one that's closest to me is the orc. So that was kind of stupid. They're so small. Which makes sense. I mean, it is called Micro Dungeon. It's not called Macro Dungeon. It's not called look how much space this takes up dungeon. It is a little bit big. Alright, so there are 4 monsters guarding the treasure here, and this is a pretty nasty square from the looks of it. So what I can do is I can actually do a tactical retreat if I want. I get 3 swords against this orc, and I've got 5 life, so I'm actually in good shape to deal with it if I wanted to. So why not? Let's go ahead. Let's just jump right in. So my third action is going to be to move here and engage in combat. The way that combat works, I'm just going to actually pull up that page. We are going to roll all 4 of these dice. Oh, good lord. Wow, this did not go well. So the monster dice are the black dice. They got 11, and I got 4. And what you do then is you then add, in this case, it's got +3 to fight, so it's going to actually be 14. I've got +2, so in this case, I've got 4, 6. I do get 1 extra for fighting orcs. That's 7. I could choose to re-roll, but it's going to be really difficult to beat that. So I think what's going to happen is I'm just going to take the hit. And when you get hit, basically I'm going to come down by 1. So this is, you lose 1 life, or you can lose one of your other aspects. So I could lose, if I wanted to, 1 movement, I could lose 1 fight. But if you are on the bottom of all 3 of these and you have to get hit 1 more time, you do die. So that is a bad thing. All right, so we're going to fight again. We're going to keep going until one of us is dead. And wow, I am just really just getting hammered here. So again, I could re-roll if I wanted to. I'm not sure if it's really going to make a difference, because right now they're at 10, 13. Unfortunately, the Dungeon Master has no strength added to it. Otherwise, that would be really bad. But right now they're at 14. Sorry, 13. And I'm currently at 9, 10. Might not be the worst idea to go ahead and re-roll. I'm not sure if I have to re-roll both dice or if I can re-roll 1 dice. If I can re-roll 1 dice, that would actually be really good. Because I can re-roll that too, and that would probably end up better. Because 7 is kind of an average. Where's the item cards? There's so many cards. Too many pages. Yeah, Magic Wand is to re-roll 1 of your dice, 1 or both of your dice in combat. So we're going to re-roll the 2 here. We're going to hope for the best. If you get doubles, you get to add +1. There we go. That works. So that is going to be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 compared to 13. I actually managed to take a life off this thing. So now it is on 2 life, and we go again. I did use my Magic Wand once, so that's going to go down there. All right, so it's at 2 life. And once again, I'm going to get hammered here. I'm going to use this to re-roll again. Re-roll both of them. This time, I did pretty well. Let's see, I have 3, it has 3. So basically, I have to beat it on each of these die rolls, because we have the same modifiers. I have 3, it has 3. Something to just keep in mind. But this time I do defeat it, and I take away 1 more of its life. It's only got 1 life remaining. And what the effing hell? I'm going to go ahead and lose the life this time. I really just not doing well at all. I'm going to go ahead and use my Magic Wand 1 more time, and I failed to do it. Okay, awesome. Well, my Magic Wand is now kaput. And so I'm going to lose 1 more life. I'm down to 2. This might be a quick video, folks. Let's see. It's got 5. I've got 6. So I beat it, which means I actually do win on this one. And I'm going to go ahead and up my fight to 3. Whenever you beat a monster of any specific type, you get a plus. So if I beat a mummy, I get +1 to health. Beat a skeleton, I get +1 to movement. And if I beat a goblin, I get +1 to fight. With the orc, I can choose any particular aspect I want. So the orc is dead, thankfully. That was pretty nasty. All right, now the monsters are going to go. They're going to move and optionally attack. Each of these mummies only have a movement of 1, though. So we're going to move this one this way. So they're not able to really move that far. So fortunately, I'm able to get through that scathed. We're going to go to round 2. I could choose to fight the mummies. I feel like that would just be a bad idea. So I'm going to go ahead and use my movement of 4 and go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the mummies are not going to be able to catch up. And then go this way. 1, 2, 3. We're going to draw another dungeon card. And it's a dead end. That's awesome. All right. There's no monsters out. There's 1 treasure over here, so we're going to go ahead and put a treasure out. And we'll put a key out as well. Put those are going to be difficult to get to. So that was 1. So we did 1, 2, 3. So that is the end of that movement. Each of these monsters are going to come one forward. We'll go ahead and let them come this way. I think I might as well just deal with them. Except I've only got 2 health. I really kind of need an item. Alright, I'm going to have to go deal with them, I think. I'm going to go this way. They only have a strength of 1. So because they only have a strength of 1 and I've got a strength of 3, I simply have to beat them. They have to beat me by more than 2. Ties go to the hero, and each of these only have 1 health. So my second move is, fortunately, 10 to 11, it's got +1, so it's going to be at 12. I've got +3, so I'm at 13. I win and knock that guy out. And more importantly, I get some health back. It's actually a good reason to continue doing this. That was 1 movement to get into position to fight. And then my second movement is going to be moved here. And once again, I'm engaged in combat. And that is a pretty easy victory overall, 9 to 3. So that's going to increase my health by 1. Not sure why I ran away from these guys. And then for my last movement, I'm going to go ahead and fight this dude. And once again, it's 6 to 6. It's got doubles though, so it gets +1. That puts it at 7. However, I get +3. That puts me at 9, and it gets +1, so that puts it at 8. So almost got it. Almost beat me, but not quite. So that defeats that, and I'm back up to full health after beating a whole bunch of mummies. We're going to move the Dungeon Master thing up 1. And I'm going to go 1, 2. We're going to stop on this item so we can pick it up. It is a magic spell. This is basically, I believe you get to flip a die or raise a dice, one of the 2. It actually does say on here. Do not count to the lower die and count the value of the higher die twice. Okay, so that's good. That means it's an automatic double. And then we're going to go this way. So our second move is going to be to here. We have to get this off. There we go. Let's go ahead and reveal the next part of the dungeon. All right, so that is a trapped little... Oh, that's unfortunate. That treasure is permanently trapped forever and ever. There's no way to get to it. It's just the way it is in Dungeon Town. You can't rotate these. These do have a normal reading order. So the first one in the upper left, that's going to be a Skelly. It has 2 movement and 2 health. And then the other one is also going to be a Skelly. All right, and there's a locked door here, which is kind of a weird place for a locked door because it doesn't seem like it really matters that there's a locked door there. But we're actually going to go this way to fight the Skelly. We're just simply going to move over here since we can and get engaged in combat. So we're at full strength. We have +3. It has +2. So we have to beat it by 1. Or it has to beat us by 1. So fortunately not the case. It rolls 9. I roll 10. We adjust that to 11 and 13. I still win. So I still need 1 more life against it. There's no way to really track life, unfortunately, in this game, as far as I can tell. This didn't even come close. I got 11. It got 6. It is dead. And my reward is to move 1 up in terms of feet. All right, so those were my 3 moves. So we now go to the movement phase. It's not going to go through the locked door, so it is going to come around this way. It does get a movement of 2. All right, and we go to the next round. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I've got 7. It's got 8. It's got +2, so that puts it at 10. I've got +3, so that puts me at 10. Ties go to the hero, so yay. And then once again, this time it's got 10. I've got 8. This time it would beat me. I'm going to go ahead and use my magic spell for 1 to count the double, make that a double, and boom, that dude is dead. And once again, I get the reward of going up by 1. I'm now at max for everything. All right, that was my first move. My second move is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And unfortunately, my last move is simply going to be to grab this treasure to see what we've got. And what I've got is a dragon shield. This is usable once, and basically this is push a monster away 3 spaces in a straight line. If the full length is not possible, because the dungeon ends, the monster dies. So basically this is a way to kill a monster really quick by shoving it in a direction, provided that there are not 3 spaces available. So good to know. All right, so that is it for my movement. We're going to go to 6. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to get another room in the dungeon. All right, we open up another room. We got 2 spaces here. We've also got a treasure, so I'm going to pull out this. They do give you, by the way, a little hero thing, but I decided just to use a pawn because I figured it would be a little bit easier to work with. I would imagine if you have like little cards that you can use. We've got a goblin. It's going to make this a lot easier because it is like you could probably just use pandemic cubes for a lot of these and it would be a lot easier. So we've got a goblin and a skelly. And I feel like I should take on the skelly. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're engaged in combat with it. So I roll 4, it rolls 9. That is not good. It's going to get +2, so that makes it 11. I'm going to be at +3, so that puts me at 7. Even if I were to increase this, it would not work. So unfortunately, I fail on that. So I'm going to take 1 life. Oh, I just realized I should have been moving 6 spaces per turn because I have 6 movement now. I don't think I could have, but you know, should have. All right, so it's got +2, I've got +3, and so it's a tie. So I'm going to basically take 1 life away from the skelly. And then this is also going to be a victory, even though it's got 2 + 1, that's 5, +2 is 7. I've got 7 + 3, that's 10. Skeleton is defeated. All right, I am going to also, as my last move up here since I can move 5, and simply use the dragon shield to shove this goblin back into the wall, and that kills it instantly. So that is going to give me +1 fight, except I have nowhere else to go. We now move to round 7. I am going to go pick up this treasure. This is going to be another dragon shield. Hurrah! And then move. Kind of want to move down this way just to keep it on screen. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a second move. My last move will be to here. Get another room in the dungeon. And once again, we have another little shorted out area. This is bad because there's a +3 on this one, so that's going to be nasty. And because it's my last move, the monster is going to get to move. The monster in this case is going to be a mummy. Fortunately, it's fairly easily. So it's going to get to move +1, which means that's as far as it gets. I see it shambling off in the distance, and I decide to run straight at it for round 8. So it's got +3, +1, so it's going to get 4 total. I've got 3 total. And it hits me hard. I'm not even going to try to reroll. And it hits me hard again. This is not good. Let's see. It's got +4. I've got Yeah, that's bad. I think this mummy's actually going to be the death of me. Holy moly, this is awful. All right, I'm down to my last life. I have to take hits on movement or else. All right, 4 and Jesus. All right. However, in this case, it is a tie, and fortunately, since it's only got 1 hit point, that's it. That was really bad rolling. I'm gonna go back up 1 in health. All right. I'm gonna take my second move and get this little treasure here, whatever this is. It's a magic spell, so I'll get another one of these. And I will go this way. I'm going to have to stop here and use a key to change this to an open door. The back of the keys, they give you these little things that you can fold up so it's an open door. It's very difficult to tell the difference between the two, to be honest. And I think that's the end of my turn, so we're going to go to 9. And we're going to open up the next room. So we get here, that makes this a room. We've got 1 monster and only 1 monster left in the card. It's going to be a goblin. And there is a locked door there that we can do nothing about. So my first move, go here and use the dragon shield to again kill the goblin. And then third move is going to be, you can put a little tracker on here to indicate which turn you're on. It probably would be helpful in my case because I'm forgetting how many turns I might have taken. All right, so we've got a key. We've also got 2 monsters. We've also got a treasure. And this is a tough room because they're going to be +2. What I really need is a potion. I need some cardstock. I've got cardstock. I need to find a good printer that does cardstock so that I can actually print these out and have them be real cards. So we're going to have a Skelly. That's going to be our first monster, which means it will be attacking us this round. And I don't believe that they can move through keys, so technically this mummy is just going to sit there and be like, what's going on? What's going on, guys? What's going on? Huh? All right. So let's go ahead, and it's going to move up, and we're going to be engaged in combat, and hopefully this will go well. It's got +2, so it's got 4 total that it's adding on each round. And wow, that hurt. There is no point in me using my spell. It's just going to hit me for 1. Can we just point out that I am just getting hit hard? I'm gonna have to take 1 off movement. I don't know what's going on here. All right, fortunately I get to take 1 off of it. It takes another 1 off me. I'm really getting hit hard here. That is... Yeah, I'm going to get 1 more taken off. I got to start taking off fight on the next one. I mean, you see what's going on here, right? I'm going to have to use a magic spell, make this a 4. That is actually, because that's now a double, it's +1, so that is actually going to tie it. And I think that defeats the monster. So I'm going to go back up 1 in terms of movement. And then that's it for the turn. We now go here. And this little spot means I think that we have to start respawning some monsters, maybe? Yeah, monster respawn. When the turn tracker reaches a respawn space, place a monster token on each empty monster square following standard rules. So, all right. So this is where the game feels like it's getting a little tedious. We're going to start again in the upper part here. We got a goblin, mummy, oh, it was going clockwise around there, mummy, goblin. We'll go up here, skeleton. Like, does this make any sense to anybody watching this video? Why I'm doing this? Like, I'm following the instructions. I'm pretty sure that it is just meant to be every empty space where there's a monster symbol, but this feels to me like it's too many spots. For God's sakes. And especially when you're dealing with these little tiny, I don't even know where it went. Where'd it go? There we go. I think I already got the treasure there. And then orc. All right, and then we got to shuffle again. So what I think I should probably do is just roll a 10-sided dice for each one of these. Except using cards would make sure that we are doing sort of an equal distribution. You know that if you're going through 10 cards, it's going to be all 10. So scratch that idea. All right, we got a mummy. Got a goblin. And then finally another goblin in front of me. And I think we're supposed to be, yeah. It moved one forward, that's why I was able to attack us. So it's right there. All right, so let's just go for it. We may as well just commit some hara-kiri here. We're gonna go up against this goblin. It's got 3 plus 2, so it's gonna get an extra 5 onto its fight. I'm not. So 7 to 5. I'm going to use another magic spell to make that a double, so we can get 1 out. 3 to 2. So yeah, that's going to be 1 more hit. We'll use a magic spell, and that will take a 2nd life from the goblin. That's going to take a hit, so now I'm only using plus 2. We'll go ahead and use the magic spell again. That takes a, was that a 3rd hit? I think that's a 3rd hit off the goblin, which gives us another a fight back. We're going to go here to get the key, which also means that we are now fighting a mummy. And then it's going to hit hard, so I'm going to lose 1 on fight. I'm going to use a magic spell to make this double this 5. That's enough to kill the monster, fortunately. That's going to give me plus 1 health, so I finally get some health back. And then next movement, I can only move 2 spaces, so this is as far as I go. Woohoo. All right, now all the monsters are going to move. This is going to move 1, 2, 3. This is just going to stop at the locked door. None of these have any way to get to me. Or no, that's an open door, so never mind. It's going to move through here. And then 1, 2, 3. I think I grabbed 2 of these by mistake. But it should be here. This will move 1. This will move 2. This will move 1 and just sort of cock up everything up over here. All right, not doing well. I'm going to move 1, 2, and then grab this. Maybe it'll be a life potion. That'd be nice. Life potion plus 2 health. Yay. So we're up to 4. Last move will be to here. Limping right along. Let's actually go this way. Yeah, I think that's where we get to. So 1, 2, 3. 1, and everybody's sort of going to pile up behind him. at some point. You ever see in the original, not the original, but the Fantastic Four with Michael Chiklis as the Thing? In that first movie, he goes to try to pick up a wedding ring off the ground, but he can't because his fingers are too big. That's kind of how this game makes me feel. Okay. So now we're on 11. 1, 2. We're going to get another map. All right, we've got a locked door, fortunately. We've got some keys. But we've also got some monsters. We're going to get a Skelly. And we're going to get a mummy. I am going to go this way, and then just face my fate. All right, taking on an goblin. 5 to 3 to 3 to 3, and I don't think that's enough actually. I think I have to use my magic spell. So it's getting +2 +3, so it's getting +5. I'm only getting +2. I have to beat it by 3, and so 8 to 7 is not enough to do it. I have to use my magic spell. That'll give me 1 victory. 8 to 5. That is enough to get a victory there. 4 to 1. I'm going to lose a point. 6 to 4. That's not enough. I'm actually going to lose a point there. 10 to 7. That's a wallop. 7 to 4. That's enough. I'm going to gain a point. That is the end of the turn. Everybody's going to come one towards me. We're just going to keep that out of the way. The order that you move everybody in, by the way, is determined by this little tracker chart. Technically, it's all the skeletons that move first. Mummies that move first, then the skeletons, then the goblins, then the orcs. Still at 2 movement. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's as far as I can go. We're going to move this dude. He's going to be right behind. I'm not going to worry about the movement, actually. I feel like there's no point. 1, 2. We're going to move this slightly down. I'm actually just more at a point where I'm just like, can I just die already? All right, we got 1 monster space here. We got a skeleton. I think that was my first move. I also have a key. So second move, third move. We're going to unlock that door. That's as far as we get, though. Everybody else is going to move. This dude is pretty much just sort of clogging everything up. So, because the monsters can't move through each other. So I'm just going to keep that dude there, and we'll worry about that when it comes to it. 13, 1, 2. 1, 2. I do have a monster there. I have a skeleton. Let's see. Fire sword. This is going to give me a +2 to fight. Finally have a weapon. Skeleton's going to move 2 closer. Everybody else is going to sort of just move 1 that way. We're just going to conga line behind that. It does matter because when I hit 15 here, it's going to respawn everybody again. I'm just not going to deal with any of that garbage. I'm kind of quickly losing interest in this game. It's a little bit too much minutia. I'd be okay if it was just respawn monsters on the spaces on your card, on the space that you're in. But it's having to do it through the entire dungeon. That just feels a little tedious. All right, so 1, 2, 1, because we still only have a movement of 2. And then we're going to get a +2 to fight. So we've got +5, and it's got +4. So it has to beat me by 1. So that's fortunately 1 that I beat it. 1 where it beats me, so that's going to knock me down to 2. Now it's got to be even, I think. And fortunately there, that kills it. So that's going to move me back up 1 on that. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I think, let's see, it was 1, 2, then a movement, and then I think I get 1 more movement to pick up this key. We're not going to go to 14. Everybody's going to continue to move towards me. This skeleton would not move, by the way, because there's no connection between this passage and the rest of the dungeon, so I'm not going to worry about that. 1, 2, 3, we're going to get a new dungeon space up here. We're going to get 2 monster spaces. The one up here is an orc. Kind of like that being where the orc is trapped. And a door that's guarding nothing. And then a mummy. I think I have 2 more movements left. So let's go 1. We'll fight the mummy. There's no bonus to it, so it's got +1, that's it. I've got +4. Which fortunately I don't really need. That's going to give me 1 health back. So I'm kind of baselining there. And then I think I get to move. I think I get that as my last movement. I could be wrong. I'm not keeping very close attention anymore. Poison. This is lower a dice by 1, I believe. Monster only rolls a single combat die, 2 uses. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so this monster does not move. Everybody else moves. This dude is basically right behind. And again, they're so small. I don't want to just keep moving all of these pieces. This would have been well beyond that way. This, I think, would have just gone here. This would just be down here. Everybody else would be kind of like piled up behind him. Same with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the goblins could have run around, but they're so far away, I'm not going to worry about them. We're on 15. I'm not going to do the whole monster spawning thing. That's just a little insane. I will spawn 1 on the monster space in my area, so we'll get a mummy there. Because again, it just feels too much. So, and I apologize to the person who created this. I know I'm sort of Kai Stark. I don't mean to crap on your game. I just feel like that is a bit much. And I think if I had actual tokens, I'd be much more inclined, because it is the picking up and moving of the little pieces of paper that's becoming a little frustrating. Let's go ahead and move. Oh, goody. Awesome. Okay, so I've managed to move myself into a corner. Yeah, so there's a mummy that's there. What's kind of funny is that orc is just trapped there, I think. There's nothing it can do. So I've managed to find myself in a corner. That means I have to move my way back. We may as well move here and take on this mummy. 7 to 5, but I've got +4, so I'm at 9, and it's at 8. So I do defeat it. That brings me up back 1 more. Now all those movements, I think, actually do matter, because it's going to take me a while to get back there. And I'm not sure I want to take you through that. How long have we been recording? 40 minutes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, we're... So this is Micro Dungeon. I'm going to voluntarily lay down my sword and die, and count that as a loss. It is an interesting game. I think if I had my own tokens for the monsters, I'd be much more inclined to play this again. And I think also if the monster regeneration thing were only for the space that you're on, Otherwise, it just gets to be too much. Like there's just like right now, I would have to keep track of so much movement, and this was really unfortunate. That there's nothing you can really do about that. I could, if I wanted to, get down here. Can you get more down, farther down? Let's move everything up here, and continue down this way, which at least gives me a little bit more room. Let's say I managed to get to here. That's a dead end. Okay. We go back this way. At least this way we don't have a dead end. I know I'm sort of skipping through the end of this game. We're going here, and finally we're at a point where we've got the end boss. So we would get here, and this is where we would actually pull out the end boss, which would in this case would be an ogre. Automatically going to take us down by 1 in terms of fight. So suddenly we don't have that ability to fight anymore. Or we lose 1, I should say, on that. So then we would start our rolling, and we'd go through the boss, and if we beat the boss, we get out, and boom, we're done. So that's pretty much it. It is, like I said, it's an interesting little game. I would be inclined to try this again if I had tokens. And with that, I'll see y'all tomorrow.